Hex. We got Sonqua, probably butchered that name, with a donation saying, Hex, with everything going on in the world regards to representation and all are there discussions about consciously and deliberately making the Hermitcraft crew more diverse to appear and represent to a wider variety of people. I will not say anything now as a representative of Hermitcraft. I'm speaking entirely of my own opinion. I absolutely want to see more equality in this world, more opportunity for people. But I believe in equality of opportunity. I believe that we need to address the roots of problems and what I would describe as the lottery of birth. The idea that you can just be born into a fortunate and affluent part of society out of pure luck. I want to see the scales level for everyone. Doesn't matter where you're born, what country, what race, what orientation, what gender. Like, you should be able to pursue and have the opportunities to do whatever it is you are, you as a human, to reach your potential. But I believe the way to go about it is to make that platform in the first place for everyone. What I don't believe we should do is try to force that representation, try to create a quality of outcome. And I'll use an example which I think is probably what you're referring to as something that I disagree with. I got an email from Patreon where they said that they were, with everything that's happening in the world, they were looking to restructure their staff team. I'm not sure if that's the word they actually used or not. I don't really want to make this sound worse than it is, but I think that's what they were getting at. They were talking about restructuring their workforce to represent a more diverse set of people. And to me, that sounds like, some people might lose their jobs because they don't fit the right box. And it's kind of like the reverse of the problem we're trying to fix. Okay? So, as a group, as Hermitcraft as a group, again, speaking on my own opinion, not for the group, like, when we recruit people to join us, we in no way eliminate anyone based on any of those things that I said before. It is purely Minecraft and like what kind of content creator you are, right? It is not about skin color. It is not about gender. It isn't about none of these things. But obviously, you know that most of us are male. Probably, well, we're all a similar age group. And there are factors in this world, that can draw people to certain things, like computer games tends to be more male-oriented. And that might not even have anything to do with opportunity, right? That might just be the way it is, Being born with this set of genetics predisposes you to be interested in particular things, whatever. Yeah, so that could explain partially why it's this way. But there's probably also a part of the argument that could say, well, there are people that get disadvantaged in society based on their gender or based on their skin color because of, history of racism and oppression. How long did it take for women to get the vote and then for black people to get the vote? Those things still affect today. It's blatantly not equal. But I just don't agree that the way to deal with it is to create an equality of outcome where you say, well, it should be more fair, so let's try and make it look more fair by including these people based on this factor. I think that is going to cause problems because it means that then the reverse happens. Oh, you were born with an advantage, and that means that you can't be a part of this or be a part of that. And that's like a recipe to, inflame people and aggravate people who end up on the wrong side of the problem, right? By going for equality of opportunity, we're trying to say, let's make the playing field level. Let's not order who's on the playing field. Let's make the opportunity of getting there fair. So I agree with equality of opportunity, but I don't agree with equality of outcome. And that is the best way that I can articulate it. And I've tried to understand it from different perspectives, try to get the other side of the argument. But to be fair, it's quite rare that I come up against anything that's rather articulate. I don't see a lot of great arguments for the other way of seeing it. But maybe I haven't been looking in the right places. And I want to find a good reason to see it a different way. But I really do think like the way to fix it is to make it what it should be from the beginning, not to try and like skew the scales to make them fair. You know, got to fix the overall system. So that's kind of my opinion on that. Like I said, not speaking for Hermitcraft, but we did get asked that question at a Minecon once, and I tried to answer it there as well, which was it was about having more females in the group, and you know, I'd love to see more females in the group. It's not really a case of if you're female or male. It's just like we don't factor that in. It's not part of the discussion when we recruit people. It's about who you are as a person. If you're joining Hermitcraft, what kind of content do you make? How do you play Minecraft? What do you do in this game? And there is probably a tilt in the amount of players of Minecraft that are male, and then that reflects on our group. So that's why it is like it is. It is not in any way some sort of guys only club, right? You know. Judge J-Lo with the cheers and the bits saying, I agree, but things like YouTube and Twitch aren't equitable. Why do I feel like I'm reading that wrong? Equatable to content creators of color. So might that influence who even hits your radar? Yeah, I agree. I totally agree that, you know, representation is disproportionate on platforms. I agree. It's just the solution to that, to me, wouldn't be to force what looks like a solution, right? Like to force create the equality. To me, it's like you have to get at the core of the problem so that the things that emerge on top of that then become the demographics, are born of that fairness, okay? But maybe there isn't a better way to go about it, you know? That could be a reason for doing things that way. Helping to promote a creator because they make great content seems obvious and inevitable, but to do it just because they have a particular skin color or something else, it does seem like a strange motive for that to be the sole reason. I think you should promote a content creator's content because they make great content, you know. And I guess if they make good content and they fit a category that you think is underrepresented, then, you know, fair game. But there's something about it that just feels a little bit odd. You know, it just feels like the reverse of the problem. So that's how I feel about it. But I'm not trying to be Mr. I got the answer. Like, I'm just trying to tell you how I think about it. Then you can think about how you think about it. And if we share ideas, we'll hopefully come to better ideas by talking about them and discussing them, you know.